You are not behind. Your time is not running out. Look at me. Right now in this moment, I need you to listen, not just with your ears but with your soul, because what I am about to share with you has the power to change everything. It's a truth so simple yet so profound that we often overlook it, we fight against it, we rage at it. That truth is this: great things take time. Let that sink in. Great things take time. Think about the mightiest oak tree in the forest. It didn't become a giant in a single season. It started as a tiny vulnerable acorn buried in the dark cold soil. For months, even years, it was unseen, while wildflowers sprouted and bloomed and died in a matter of weeks. That acorn was doing its quiet, invisible work. It was sending roots deep, deep into the earth, anchoring itself, gathering nutrients, building a foundation that no storm could ever break. And only then, after that patient, persistent, unseen labor, did it finally break through the surface and begin its climb towards the sun. It grew slowly, season by season. It endured scorching summers and frozen winters. Its bark was scarred by lightning and wind, but with every passing year it grew stronger, more resilient, more magnificent. That oak tree wasn't just growing, it was becoming. And you, my friend, are that oak tree. But we live in a world of instant gratification. A world of one-click purchases, instant downloads and overnight success stories that are fed to us through our screens. We see the highlight reels of everyone else's lives, the promotions, the launches, the awards, the finished masterpieces, and we compare our behind-the-scenes, our messy, unfinished, raw chapters to their final, polished, edited climax, and we feel inadequate. We feel slow. We feel like we're failing. We look at our own soil where we've planted our seeds of dream and we see nothing. No sprout, no green shoot, just dirt. And we think, it's not working. I'm not good enough. This dream is dead. We get impatient. We get frustrated. We feel the urge to dig up the seed, just to check if it's still alive, and in doing so we kill the very thing we're trying to grow. This impatience is a poison. It clouds our vision. It shortens our focus. It makes us abandon paths right before a breakthrough. It makes us quit on ourselves. I need you to understand something, and I need you to understand it at the deepest level of your being. The time between planting the seed and seeing the sprout is not wasted time. It is the most critical time of all. It is the time of foundation. It is the time of rooting. It is where the real magic happens, deep in the darkness, where no one can see. This is a conversation about patience, but not a passive waiting around kind of patience. This is about active patience. The patience of the sculptor who chips away at the marble day after day, knowing that the masterpiece is already inside, waiting to be revealed. The patience of the warrior in training, who practices the same move 10,000 times, until it becomes an extension of their very will. This is a conversation about persistence. The relentless, gritty, get back up again and again kind of persistence that forges champions. And this is a conversation about the journey itself, because the destination is a marriage. The real prize, the real transformation, happens on the road. Let's talk about the myth of overnight success. It's a lie. It's a story we tell ourselves because it's easier than accepting the long, hard road. We see an actor win an Oscar and we say, they came out of nowhere. No, they didn't. They spent a decade going to auditions, facing rejection after rejection after rejection. They worked thankless jobs to pay the rent. They acted in tiny, empty theaters for no pay. They studied their craft every single day. We see a tech entrepreneur sell their company for billions and we call them an overnight sensation. No, they didn't. They spent years in a garage, coding through the night, surviving on coffee and passion. They faced countless failures, product launches that flopped, investors who slammed doors in their face. They maxed out their credit cards and bet everything on a vision only they could see. Their overnight success was a decade in the making. It was built on a mountain of failures, a foundation of lessons learned the hard way, and a persistence that refused to be extinguished. Your journey is no different. The timeline is yours and yours alone. Stop comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. Now I want you to think about a dream you have. A real one. The one that keeps you up at night. The one that feels scary to even say out loud. Maybe it's starting a business, writing a book, learning an instrument, getting in the best shape of your life, mending a broken relationship, finding your voice. Whatever it is, I want you to hold it in your mind now. I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Have you been impatient with it? Have you expected it to happen faster? Have you gotten discouraged because you're not there yet? Have you looked at others who are further along and felt a pang of envy, of frustration? It's okay, we all have, it's human, but today that stops. Today we reframe the entire narrative. I want to introduce you to your new best friends on this journey. The 3 pillars of monumental achievement: patience, persistence, and process. Let's start with patience. Patience is not about waiting. Patience is about maintaining the right attitude while you work. It's the calm, steady understanding that things will unfold in their own perfect timing. It's trusting the process, even when you can't see the results. Think about a farmer. A farmer doesn't plant a seed in the spring, and then pace the field every day, screaming at the ground, "Gro, goletoi you garoi and fastar." That would be insane. The farmer does the work. He plants the seed, he waters it, he protects it from weeds, he has faith in the laws of nature. He understands his role is to create the conditions for growth, not to force the growth itself. He trusts the sun, he trusts the rain, he trusts the seed, and he is patient. You must become the farmer of your own dreams. Do the work, plant the seeds daily, water them with consistent action. Protect your mind from the weeds of doubt and negativity. And then trust the process. Trust that your efforts are compounding, even when you can't see it. Your patience is an active, powerful force. It is the antidote to anxiety. When you are patient, you are not worried about the future, you are focused on the present moment, on the task at hand, on doing the work with excellence. Now, let's talk about the second pillar: persistence. If patience is the calm, steady hand, persistence is the fierce, unyielding heart. Persistence is the quality that separates the dreamers from the achievers. It's the decision to get back up one more time than you are knocked down. You will be knocked down. Let me be very clear about that. You will fail, you will stumble, you will face rejection, criticism, and moments of sheer, overwhelming doubt. This is not a possibility, it is a guarantee. The path to anything great is paved with obstacles. The question is not if you will fall, but what you will do when you fall. Will you stay down? Will you lie there and nurse your wounds and decide the dream was too big? Or will you gather the broken pieces of your pride? You will wipe the blood from your knees, you will set your jaw, and you will rise. You will rise. Every single person you admire has a history of falling down. What makes them admirable is not that they never fell, it's that they always got back up. Persistence is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you choose to continue in the face of difficulty, you are not just moving closer to your goal, you are forging a character of steel. You are building a resilience that becomes a part of you. You are telling the universe, and more importantly, telling yourself that you cannot be stopped. Think of persistence as a relentless hammer, and your dream as a solid block of granite. One strike of the hammer does nothing. 10 strikes might create a few chips, 100 strikes might create a crack, but 1,000 strikes, 10,000 strikes. That block of granite will eventually split, revealing the beautiful sculpture hidden within. You cannot deliver 10,000 strikes in a single day. You can only deliver one strike at a time, consistently, persistently, day after day after day. That is how mountains are moved, not with one giant shove, but with a million small, persistent pushes. Now, let's bring it all together with the third, and most important, pillar: the process. The process is the journey. It is the daily grind. It is the early mornings and the late nights. It is the repetition. It is the practice. It is the joy of doing the work for its own sake. We are so obsessed with the destination that we forget the road is where we live. We say, "I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds. I'll be happy when the business is successful." This is a trap. It puts all your happiness and fulfillment in a future that is not guaranteed. It makes the present moment, the now, feel like a burden to be endured. What if you flipped the script? What if the joy was in the process itself? What if you fell in love with the daily practice of becoming the person capable of achieving that dream? The musician doesn't just love the applause, they love the hours of practice, the feeling of their fingers on the strings, the struggle of mastering a new chord. The athlete doesn't just love winning the game, they love the grueling training, the sweat, the burn in their muscles, the discipline of the regimen. The writer doesn't just love holding the published book, they love the solitude of writing, the flow of words, the challenge of crafting a perfect sentence. When you fall in love with the process, several magical things happen. First, you become unstoppable. Why? Because your motivation is no longer dependent on external results. Your motivation comes from within, from the sheer joy of the act itself. A bad day, a rejection, a temporary failure. These things cannot derail you, because you're not doing it just for the outcome, you're doing it because you love the doing. Second, time transforms. When you are impatient for a result, time feels slow, like molasses. Every day is a struggle. But when you are immersed in a process you love, time accelerates, you enter a state of flow, hours feel like minutes, weeks fly by, and before you know it, you look up and you've made monumental progress, almost without realizing it. And third, the quality of your life improves dramatically. You are no longer waiting to live your life someday. You are living it fully right now in the pursuit of something meaningful. The process is the life. So how do we apply this? How do we cultivate this powerful trinity of patience, persistence, and process in our own lives? It starts with a shift in mindset, a shift from being destination focused to being journey focused. Let's break it down into actionable steps. Step 1: redefine your goal. Instead of having a goal that is only a finish line, create a goal that is a way of being. Instead of, I want to write a book, make it, I am a writer. Feel the difference. I want to write a book is an event in the future. I am a writer is an identity you claim right now. And what does a writer do? A writer writes every day. It doesn't matter if the words are good or bad, if they feel inspired or not. A writer shows up and writes. That's the process. Fall in love with being a writer, and the book will become the natural byproduct. Step 2: break it down into tiny daily actions. A giant audacious goal can be paralyzing. It's like looking up at a massive, sheer cliff and thinking, I could never climb that. But you don't climb a cliff in one leap. You find one small handhold at a time. You take one small step at a time. Break your dream down into the smallest possible daily actions. Don't say, I'm going to build a multi-million-dollar company. Say, today I am going to make one sales call. Today, 200 words. Today I am going to study for 25 minutes. Today I am going to do 20 push-ups. These small actions seem insignificant on their own, but they are everything. They are the individual strikes of the hammer on the granite. They are the daily watering of the seed. They are the roots you are growing in the dark. Consistency with these tiny actions is infinitely more powerful than occasional massive unsustainable bursts of effort. Step 3: celebrate the micro wins. We are trained to only celebrate the big victories, the launch, the graduation, the final result. But the journey is made of thousands of tiny victories, and we ignore them at our peril. Did you get out of bed when you wanted to hit snooze? That's a win, celebrate it. Did you choose a healthy meal over junk food? That's a win. Acknowledge it. Did you write that one paragraph, even though it was hard? That's a win. Feel good about it. By celebrating the micro wins, you train your brain to associate the process with positive feelings. You release dopamine, the motivation chemical, which makes you want to do the action again. You build momentum. A journey of 1,000 miles is not conquered in a single leap, it is conquered step by step, and every single step matters. Step 4: embrace the suck. Let's be real, the process isn't always fun. There will be days you don't feel like it. There will be days it's boring, frustrating, and painful. This is where persistence meets patience. This is where you separate yourself from the crowd. On those days you don't rely on motivation. Motivation is fickle, it comes and goes. You rely on discipline. Discipline is doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. Make a commitment to yourself that you will show up, no matter what, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Often the hardest part is just starting. Once you start, you build momentum. Embrace the struggle. See it as a sign of growth. A muscle only grows when it is stressed, when it is torn and then repairs itself stronger than before. Your character, your skills, your resilience. They all grow through the struggle. The suck is the fertilizer for your growth. Step 5: practice detachment from the outcome. This might sound counterintuitive, but it is the ultimate secret to patience. It means you do the work to the best of your ability, and then you let go of your tight, anxious grip on the result. You trust that if you have done the work, the result will take care of itself. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about your integrity, your effort, and your growth than you do about a specific, predetermined outcome. When you are detached from the outcome, you free yourself from the fear of failure. You are no longer paralyzed by, what if I don't make it? You understand that the real victory is in the person you become along the way. The skills you build, the resilience you forge, the lives you touch, these cannot be taken from you regardless of the final outcome. Now I want to tell you a story. A story about one of the greatest examples of patience, persistence, and process the world has ever seen. His name was Thomas Edison. We all know he invented the light bulb, but we've sanitized the story. We think he had a brilliant idea, tried a few things and voila, light. The truth is far more powerful. Edison did not invent the light bulb in a day. He pursued it for years. He faced failure after failure after failure. He tried thousands of different materials for the filament, thousands, from platinum to bamboo to every metal and carbonized substance he could find. Each one failed. It burned out. It didn't glow, it was too expensive. A young reporter once asked him, "Mr. Edison, how does it feel to have failed 10,000 times?" Edison didn't even flinch. He looked at the reporter and said, "Young man, I have not failed 10,000 times. I have successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work." Read that again. I have successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work. That is the mindset of a master. That is the ultimate reframe. He wasn't failing, he was learning. He was in the process of discovery. Each failure was not a setback, it was a step forward, because it eliminated a possibility and brought him closer to the solution. He was persistent in his action and patient in his belief. He loved the process of experimentation. He was detached from the immediate outcome of any single test. He was committed to the overall mission. And finally, after over 10,000 attempts, he found a carbonized bamboo filament that worked. It glowed for over 200 hours. It lit up the world. What if he had quit after 100 failures? After 1,000? After 5,000? The world would have been a darker place for much longer. Your dream is your light bulb. Your failures are not failures, they are data points. They are the ways that won't work, guiding you, teaching you, strengthening you, until you find the way that will. So I ask you again, what is the dream you are holding in your mind? And are you willing to go through your 10,000 experiments to make it a reality? This journey you are on, it is not a straight line, it is a spiral. You will sometimes feel like you are back at the beginning. You will face the same challenges, the same doubts, the same fears, but at a slightly higher level. This is not you failing to progress. This is you being given another chance to learn the lesson more deeply, to strengthen that muscle a little more, to solidify the foundation. Trust the spiral. Trust the timing of your life. Maybe you're watching this and you're tired. You've been fighting for a long time. You've been patient, you've been persistent, and you're still not where you want to be. I see you. I honor you. Your struggle is not in vain. The fact that you are still here, still watching, still searching for a spark of inspiration, tells me everything I need to know about you. It tells me you have the heart of a champion. Champions don't quit when they're tired, they quit when they're done. And you are not done. Look at how far you've already come. Think about the person you were a year ago, 5 years ago. You have grown, you have learned, you have survived 100% of your worst days. You are stronger than you think. The world needs your dream. It needs your unique voice, your unique contribution, your unique light. But it cannot have the finished product without the process that creates it. The world needs your struggle. It needs your patience. It needs to see you get back up, again and again. Because your story, your journey, will become someone else's survival guide. Your persistence will inspire their persistence. So, from this day forward, I want you to make a new commitment. Not to the destination, but to the path. Fall in love with the daily practice. Become obsessed with the process. Embrace the beautiful, painful, glorious grind of becoming. Wake up each morning and ask yourself, what is the one small thing I can do today to move forward? And then do it. Do it with excellence. Do it with presence. Do it with the unwavering knowledge that this small action is a sacred part of a grander plan. When doubt whispers in your ear, acknowledge it, and then gently return your focus to the task at hand. When impatience tugs at your sleeve, take a deep breath and remind yourself, great things take time. I am building my oak tree. When you fall, feel the pain, but don't live there. Gather the lesson. Find the gift in the struggle, and then rise. Always rise. You are not behind.